single family is easier to get into if you're starting from scratch because it requires less capital, right? Like it's no different than going through and buying a house that you're going to live in, aside from the amount of equity that you have to put down. With multifamily, you do reach economies of scale. We bought it at a price where we had factored in. I didn't want to be the guy that was driving to Fremont, to fix a dishwasher, and so we had, kind of pro forma'd in, hey, we're going to have a management company run this, which was great. But I think it really comes down to one, when you're first starting out, I think a lot of people do, they go through house hacking or are buying, one or two individual properties, whether it's single family or duplex. But you really start to reach economies of scale and get to the point where you're like, man, I don't want to manage 5 or 6 or 7 individual homes. It's so much easier to roll that into something bigger at that point.
How did this, you said you just sold it. How'd that, if you don't have to share details, but how'd it go for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was a great transaction for us for a couple reasons. We were able to raise the rents every single year, but really what it came down to was we found the right buyer. That the way that they underwrote it was they're local. The way that they were looking at it was, hey, we don't need the management company. And so when they kind of spreadsheeted it out, they were able to pay a much higher purchase price than somebody that would be using a management company. So it was really the right buyer, but it ended up being a fantastic transaction. And we'll be able to do some other projects with that capital.
Nice. Do you want to keep it in multifamily, or are you thinking spread it out?
I like multifamily just because you're really diversifying the risk over a lot of different units, right? Like when you look at one, we're in a period of really high inflation, and we're in a period of interest rates are going through the roof, and so that is pushing a lot of people that would be normal first-time home buyers back into the rental markets. And I think it was just yesterday or the day before, the housing market, just demand right now is down so much because interest rates are up. And so I love multifamily from the perspective of instead of having the risk of 1, 2, 3 or a whole bunch of like individual homes, you can really think of multifamily as if you have 24 units or you have 240 units, right? You're diversifying and spreading the risk of that vacancy over a much bigger amount of units. And when you look at occupancy rates across the country right now, whether it's Omaha, Nashville, or somewhere else, there's just a lack of housing. And so I think that's going to continue to be a strong market here over the next several years.